India has carried out coordinated missile attacks on terror infrastructure across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and deep inside Pakistan. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri confirmed that the strikes were a measured and proportionate response to the April 22nd terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. Colonel Sophia Qureshi, Senior Air Force Officer Yovanka Vaimika Singh, speaking alongside Misri, said the operation signalled a strategic shift in India's response to decades of cross-border terror. Missiles targeted known launch pads, training camps and command centres in areas including Muzaffarabad, Kotli, Bawalpur and Rawalkot. Let's listen in to Senior Air Force Officer Vyokima Singh.
Niche technology weapons with careful selection of warheads was ensured so that there will be no collateral damage. The point of impact in each of the target was a specific building or a group of buildings. All the targets were neutralized with clinical efficiency, and the results reiterate the professionalism of the Indian Armed Forces in the planning and execution of their operations. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in its response. However, it must be said that the Indian Armed Forces are fully prepared to respond to Pakistani misadventures, if any, that will escalate the situation.
Sources say precision-guided munitions, including laser and satellite-guided bombs, were used in a synchronized pattern. The strikes were executed from both air and land platforms with real-time drone surveillance, confirming the success of each target. Officials emphasized that no Pakistani military installations were engaged and efforts were taken to avoid civilian harm. International leaders have reacted strongly to India's recent Operation Sindoor air, missile and strikes against terror camps in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson urged both India and Pakistan to prioritize peace, remain calm and avoid actions that could worsen the situation. Israel's ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, voiced strong support for India's right to self-defense, stating that terrorists should not expect refuge from their heinous crimes. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump, while acknowledging the anticipated strikes, expressed hope that the violence would end quickly. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio echoed this sentiment, calling for both Pakistan and India to work towards a peaceful resolution while monitoring the situation closely. Let's listen in to what some of the leaders had to say.
No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quick.
中方反对一切形式的恐怖主义。我们呼吁印巴双方以和平稳定的大局为重，保持冷静克制，避免采取使局势进一步复杂化的行动。我们愿同国际社会一道努力，继续为缓解当前的紧张局势发挥建设性。
さらなる報復の応酬を招き、本格的な軍事紛争にエスカレートすることを強く懸念しておりまして。南アジアの平和と安定のため、インド、パキスタン双方が自制し、対話を通じて事態を安定化させることを強く求めます。
We are joined by retired Brigadier Rajan Jamwal, defence expert. Thank you very much, Brigadier Jamwal, for joining us. What are your thoughts on the events of today? Both the strikes itself. What were your thoughts when you woke up this morning and you saw those images coming in from both Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir?
To be honest, actually, I was woken up middle of the night by one of your sister channels. You know, that's how I came to know. And in fact, before that, I got a call from my daughter in the US. Obviously, she was worried. And so that's how I came to know. That apart, what we have done today, rather than India has done today, It has put Pakistan in a flux. You see, what we have done is the military targets. There has been almost zero collateral damage. So what choices do they have? They cannot find equivalent targets in India. There are no terror camps here. So the choices are either you take force targets, that is military targets, value targets, that is infrastructure, or population targets. Now each of these have its own ramifications, and it is further going up the escalatory ladder, which they can ill afford with the kind way they are running low on ammunition, supplies, fuel, food, everything. I mean, they just cannot afford to take escalatory ladder. In addition, there are internal problems with the BLA having overrun half the Balochistan, the TTP on their heels in Northwest Frontier Province. I mean, they are in an actual flux. They just don't know what to do. So what I expect is they will just have, what you call staged retaliation. There's something like that Iran did, when it fired those 400 missiles at Israel, it conveyed to Israel through somebody, okay, we are firing these missiles, but don't worry, none of them will reach Israel. And they did not. They'll do something like that, a staged retaliation, where they will, to a third party, let us know exactly this time, this is a retaliation, but don't worry, the bombs will all fall into rivers or jungles. So don't worry, and you don't escalate further. There's something like this is what I call a staged retaliation. This is what I am going. However, in case they do not take this route and actually go in the escalatory ladder, they are just speeding up their disintegration. The disintegration of Pakistan is now inevitable. It has started. They would just be speeding it up by taking the escalatory ladder. More so when, there is nobody in the world who's supporting them. There is nobody in the world who's supporting them all alone. Even their best friend, China, it just talks. It could not even defend them in the closed door meeting called by them at their request in the Security Council.
Yes. Brigadier Jamwell, I just wanted to focus on those international reactions. What did you think of them? Particularly, I want to get your thoughts on those reactions from both the United States and from China.
You see, the United States has basically not, it has shown a kind of, okay, these things keep happening, part of the game, this thing, and end of the day, they sympathize with us, and what they are conveyed is, they are not buying the Paki narrative. They are not buying the Paki narrative. China, on the other hand, hasn't come out officially with anything except calling for de-escalation. Prima facie, it is also not buying the Pakistan narrative. That leaves only Turkey and Azerbaijan, whom they had been approaching. Even both of these countries are, they are refusing to come out openly in their support. They are on the sidelines. They would say, okay, this is not good, this is bad, we should escalate, those kind of things. So it is actually globally isolated. And not only Pakistan, of course, is globally isolated. Munir Khan's, Asim Munir's gamble has not paid off. Instead of uniting the country, he had gambled basically because his personal popularity had gone down, and he was thinking, a rhetoric against India or something like that will galvanize the population of Pakistan with him. The reverse is happening. The population of Pakistan and even people in the political class, they are now wondering what kind of shit he has landed us into. We are already into deep shit. He has further sunk us down. So, it is his own survival which has become our state. I don't know how they will respond. I think I'm expecting within the Pakistan military dissent voices rising pretty soon.
Yes.
Among the population, we have already seen them rising. You had that Maulvi of Lal Masjid openly saying this is not a war between two religions. It is not even a war between India and Pakistan. It is something the Pakistan army has forced upon the
Yes,
people of Pakistan.
Brigadier Jamwal,
Openly.
thank you. Thank